Hi everyone, it's Carolyn, here to share another channeled message from the Light Keepers, a group of angelic beings I channel for your awakening and ascension journey support. So today's channel is about a topic that we don't think about in this way. So I'm going to give you a different twist on it, which I'll tell you about here in a second. I'm going to give you my thoughts like I always do, so you can kind of get a sense of how I am looking at this and a little bit about what I would call the exercise around this for you if you want to consider this differently in your life and see how powerful this can be. So first of all, thank you everybody again for joining me. All of you who are always here, I so appreciate learning from you as well in your comments. And thank you to everybody who is new as well. I'm Carolyn Zaiser. I'm a channel, a distance energy healer, and a spiritual awakening mentor. And I offer these channels through the Light Keepers to support you on your journey. So for those of you who are new to my channel, check out below in the description box because there's a video on how to create flow in your body for health and wellness. And then it leads you to more free content, including a channeled message each week and also some other content that I offer through my email list. So check it out. I would love to be able to connect with you in that way too. All right, so let's get going. I'm going to read the channel first, as I always do, and then I'm going to give you my takeaways on this. So today, and stick with me because this is different, it's about gratitude. What a great week to have that channel come through, because in the United States, we are celebrating Thanksgiving. And basically, for those of you who don't know what it is just exactly what it says. It's an opportunity for us to give thanks on a particular day, typically getting together with friends and family for most of us. Now, this is a different twist on it, and then I'm going to talk about it as we finish up. Oh, the joy of life when all is good and well. The bitterness not tasted, and instead, only the sweetness of the flower of life. Expected it can be that all of life's journey will be this way, overflowing with laughter and love, and all the rightness in one's world that could ever be. Yet then, south turns to north, and the winds swirl you away. Your direction is lost, and nothing is there to see of what you once felt of the times of your life. Then it is often when gratefulness ceases in one's way. Often found is only a disturbed view of this journey of yours. What then of gratitude? Might instead one find that within the fullness of life, it is not just the moments of bliss that count, but also the ones that come your way, of breaking you down into the pieces you didn't know you had, crumbled into dust, broken, lying in your own way. What to make of what is to come? And then, with new eyes in this time of great light, take upon you to see that in the breaking down comes the seed of new birth in your way, struggling to come to terms with your plight, growing out of the experiences over time. To one day see how the new day of dawn, the joys that come again, were there all along, growing out of and the darkness of those times. Now it begins, lifelong, looking back, grateful for all that was. So this just popped out of nowhere, and it was so cool how it happened because I was at my computer, which is not normally how this works, but it is more and more now these days, and it just flowed. And I was like, oh my gosh, gratefulness, it's perfect for this upcoming week. So I hope you enjoyed that. And what I want to do today is talk about gratefulness and gratitude from a different perspective. And I've actually just recently gone through this exercise, and I'm going to do it again in a more, I guess I would say, meaningful way, because I was kind of on the fly when I was doing this the first time. And as I wrote this down for you guys, I realized, wow, this can be super powerful if we take this on our own and practice this. So, first of all, when we think about gratitude, we often think about, all the things that are wonderful and magical in our lives, and the things that we love, and the things that we're happy for. And that's fantastic to have gratitude for that. But what about the times that offer some of the greatest learning that we can ever imagine, but that we so often in our human life do not see or don't even consider? And then we miss how we have come into more of our fullness or had some of the beautiful experiences come our way. And that it was basically from the journey of the dark times or the difficult times or the struggles. And so I think during the awakening, this becomes not lost upon us if we can open ourselves up to the understanding that the pathway of life that we are on, this journey we have, is full of beauty and grace, and yet at times, tons of difficulty. And we tend to separate these things into, oh, those were crummy times. Oh, those were tough times. Or, these were the most amazing times of my life, and that's all I want to think about, right? I mean, we do that as humans because we're just looking for the beauty. But if we can embrace the struggles and the difficulties and the really awful times in our lives, and then sit with them in a way that works for us, now that we're going through this awakening journey, and be able to see things differently, because we start seeing things differently from our soul perspective as you move forward in this awakening journey, more like you're the observer looking into your life, and you're able to put aside a lot of that emotion of those difficult times and be able to say, oh wow, I wouldn't have had this part of my life occur had this difficulty not occurred. I wouldn't have had this insight to myself occur if this hadn't occurred. It grew out of this difficulty, because so often we as humans, we don't grow unless we have the struggle. It's like the grapevine. They just showed me a grapevine. Oh my gosh, I love this. I love when I channel and I'm talking to you guys. They showed me a grapevine, because the whole idea with grapes that I understand, and it must be that way because that's what they're showing me, is the more they struggle, the better the grape is for the wine or whatever's coming out of it. That struggle creates the beauty. And so consequently, if we can take and look at what we've gone through in our life and look at where we are now, oh my gosh. I mean, hindsight's 20/20, right? It really truly is. And especially when we go through the awakening, because we are observing very differently. In fact, we may be observing our own life for the first time in our life. So I realize a lot of you are going through struggles right now. And I will say, in the moment of the struggle, it is so hard to say what's coming out of that and what beauty, because it's not been created yet, right? It's not been created. But that's where the creation starts of the beauty that will be coming. And a lot of it's in layers and stages to continue to add to our life journey, whether it's lessons, learning, joy, happiness. You know, some of it can just be complete learning, which is a major part of why we're here. But if we are able to sit in a space where we can look back and pick these difficult times that we have blocked, that we don't understand fully, and in this awakening journey, be able to look at them in a way and say, what if this actually caused me to grow? Did it? And then sit with that and be able to understand and see and really be open-minded to this. How did it bring you into your own? Now, a lot of you might be in that situation where you're going through the struggle of seeing the past difficulties that maybe weren't far in the past, and you can't even imagine how you could have gratitude for that. And what I would say to you is just be the observer and let it sit, because as you grow over time, over the years, you're going to start seeing that who you are becoming, particularly as you're going through the awakening, all is coming out of that struggle of the human endeavor and being able to stick with yourself and know who you are and learn what you want to do and learn to be the being that you truly are, the true soul self of who you are, to lead and guide you along your journey, because that's how we come through into that understanding, is through those struggles, like the grapevine. So what I would suggest is the 3 essential, steps for you to take if you would like to try to observe this in your own life and look at gratitude in a different way, and then be able to give thanks for the difficult times. It doesn't mean you're forgiving the person. We're not talking about forgiveness here. We're talking about gratitude for what has come out of it and what you may have never seen before, the nuggets of beauty, the little nuggets of beauty that may have been lost within the struggle, and how we as humans don't understand our life journey. So first of all, what I would suggest you do is get in a space to be able to spend some time with this. Now, I have lately started to like to create a more ceremonial view of my contemplations And so I'll actually, and someday I'll show you my little office area here where I do most of my work, but I'll show you how I set my ceremonies up. And I will put candles, feathers, important things that make me feel like I'm really in that space, that I'm not rushing through this. And then I will sage my room. I'll just open up the space for clarity. Wow, I have chills. That must be the right thing to do. Then I will spend a few minutes in quiet meditation, just settling myself, grounding myself, getting myself ready, filling that space, calling in all of my spirit team. And then what I will suggest that you do is consider a few times in your life. First, pick one. And you may only want to do one for each time you do this, that you have had struggles with, that have been difficult for you, that you have set aside because you don't want to think about it. And again, we don't want to waller in all of this, but what we do want to do is take a look, a hard look, at how has this contributed to who I am today. And you don't want to force it, but as you observe this and understand this and look at who you are becoming, and we're all at different stages, how did that situation contribute to who you are today, how you are growing? And then the biggest trick of it, and of course don't force this, can you give gratitude to that experience, to the piece that came out of that has now become the growth, the new seed in you that is helping you? Because we collect new seeds as we go along in our life journey. All those seeds over time that sprouted from something, and it's not always what we as humans consider beauty. But the crack has to be created in us for the seed to be able to go in and start its growth. So when you do that observation, I would suggest to just let it go in your mind. I would journal it if I were you. You don't have to make it a big deal. Make a few notes that this is what you did on that day for this difficult time that came your way, and that you went on a gratitude journey. And you might not find anything, and that's fine. The thing is, you went through the process because you're also processing that situation. But again, this is a whole different way of looking at gratitude, because we often have been taught to be thankful for the things that we love and that are wonderful. But what about if we do a flip side of it and we really take a look at what has created the real growth in our lives? And oftentimes that is the most difficult things that we've been through in this human journey. So with that today, I hope you have enjoyed this message, and I wish you the best on your Thanksgiving week for those of you who are celebrating across the United States with family and friends. And if you're not doing anything, then take some time off for yourself and just spend in contemplation of gratitude of all the things in life that have come your way, be they beautiful things immediately or the things you have to really dig into to look and find the beauty. So thank you so much for joining me today, and I will remind you again of my services on purplerainhealing.com, where I help you with your spiritual awakening mentoring as I channel information for you as you go through your awakening journey and work with me. I also do channeled messages and distance energy healing. So check out my services, purplerainhealing.com. And again, I thank you so much for being here today, and I will see you in the next video.